Alright, I'm coming back to the issue of this double slip and the problems I'm having with it, and I've come up with a fix that I'm going to do. Instead of just taking this double slip out and replacing it, I'm going to take it out but just replace it with a point, left hand point. So basically from here you can only go out that way, and from here you can only go out that way. There will be no ability to change over onto this track here. When I think about it, I can't remember the last time I actually needed to run a train from here in this direction, and if I needed to run a train from here to go into this platform, I just run it over this route. So I don't actually need this double slip, and I think if I replace it, basically move this point from there to there, so that's just a straight piece of track. We have the left hand point here. I think it'll look a little bit neater, plus it'll hopefully solve all the issues I have with some of my engines running over this point. I also said before I have concerns because I've got to reach over from there to there to work and about damaging this point, but I'm actually going to remove this point because I don't know if I can you can see the little piece with the green and red lens has come off of this. It's not missing, I've actually got it there, so it'll just be easier to remove this signal. It's not too difficult. It's just cut around the base, remove the ballast, cut the wires underneath, and just lift it out, and that will solve the problem I have with damaging this. And also, when it's out, I can actually fix, replace the lens, glue it back in. It is fixable. It's happened before. You just need to have a lot of patience and ensure that when you glue it, you don't put glue onto any of the other working parts of the signal. So I'll do that as well. What I need to do that first, and then over here, basically I'm going to have to remove the overhead wires. It's not too difficult to do, and then cut away the ballast and remove the track. I'm going to be starting that very soon. Obviously, once I start that, it just basically means I can't run any trains through this section here. I still will be able to run trains on the branch line once I remove this and tidy this up. That's not going to stop. So the running sessions for a little while will just be the branch line and not the main line. So let me get started with that, and we'll see how it looks. And here's the signal. It's been removed, just a tiny hole where the mechanism goes through, and here's the signal, and as you can see, the mechanism that goes down, which contains the solenoid switch that moves the arm up and down. You can see clearly here now the red and green lens has come off, and if I can get really close, you can just see the small little round part that needs to be glued to, but that needs to be able to move. So that's why I have to be very careful when repairing this. So I'll do that on the workbench, and now it means I can now work here a little bit more safely without worrying about damaging this signal, and I can get started on removing the overhead wires and removing the double switch and repositioning that point. Right, let me get on with that, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so far so good. That's the track in. This is just for testing. I haven't fastened it down apart from a couple of screws just to hold it in place while I do some testing and make sure that everything works. As you can see, dropper wires are there. They're all temporarily connected as well. I'll solder them all correctly under the baseboards once I'm happy with everything. So it's looking good so far. I've run a couple of trains already across it and no issues. I did in the end need to remove some of the catenary masts because I was scared I would break them, and I don't have any spares for that, so I took it out. I took them out. I think it was 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 masts removed, and some of the overhead wires as well. These ones are just placed out of the way so they don't snag on any of the trains that I test or run when I'm testing, I should say. So looking good. I filled in the holes over there where there was the point motor for the switch that was there, and on this side for the double slip the point motor was here, so I just filled that in with cardboard, just built it up until it was level with the baseboard, and I'll just landscape that in afterwards. I fitted the new point motor here, and that will obviously need to be covered up and then ballasted and what have you. And as per the previous bit of track that I did, I will cover this with a thin sheet of plastic so that none of the ballast gets into the point motor. But that's a little while ahead yet. So I just want to now run the trains and test this, make sure that everything's working, and before I actually do anything that's permanent. So let me carry on and with that, and I'll come back to you. Okay, we're making progress here. As you can see, I've started ballasting the track. I'm not quite finished yet. Didn't film that because I've done that before, and I don't think ballasting is anything new to be shown. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Still got a little bit to do. The glue is now drying. Before I did the ballasting, I did a lot more testing, all the various combinations of trains running over these points, and everything seems to be working fine. So it's just a case of finishing off the landscaping now, putting back the masts and the overhead wires, and that should be it. I have unfortunately broken some of the fencing along here. Nothing really to worry about. This was all self-made. I just need to get some pieces of styrene rods and posts and flat strips and build it all up again. It's only a few fence posts and planks that I need to replace, and then also I took out some of the bushes because they were just constantly getting squashed with my hands reaching over to do the work over there. So I'll replace all that once I'm finished, and it'll be as if it's never happened. And then once all that's done, back to this semaphore signal here, which I removed, and I've got to work on fixing the red and green lenses and then reinstalling that. Hopefully that shouldn't be too much of an issue to repair. Just got to be very careful. So that's where we are, and I'll come back once it's finished. Well, after just watching that V200 double traction and what's not to like about that, let's get back to the track work. I've just completed the rest of the ballasting. I've still got that brown area in between the points to fill, which I'll probably use dead grass for that. And that's about it. I don't think anything else. And then on this other side, where I had a sort of sandy texture to the ground, I didn't really like that, so I've just covered it with some gravel, and I will be putting bushes, little tufts of grass, etc. to cover that up, and then I will be tidying this whole area up. I still need to also paint some sleeper grime along the tracks, just to give it a more dirty, worn look. And then once all that's done, I can finally put the overhead masts and the wires back in, and that should be this job done. Okay, back again, and we're almost done now. The ballasting is finished, the painting is done, the grass and bushes have been glued down, the catenary masts are back in position, the overhead wires are in. I've only just got a couple of the signs to put back in and the fencing to repair, and some of these bushes to put back into place, but I can do that at any time, but it will be done soon. But the major work is now finished, and when you stand back a little bit, it does look good. Not entirely convinced about the dead grass growing between the points here. I'll see. If I end up not liking it, I'm just going to cover it up with gravel and maybe one or two very small tufts of grass, but we'll see. But overall, I'm liking how that looks. Everything seems to be working fine. All the electrics and everything is done. Then once I've done the fence repairs, I will go back in and put in this signal. I have actually fixed it. Needed just a bit of patience and a very small amount of glue onto the lenses that move up and down with the arm, and that should be all okay now. So let me carry on, and we'll hopefully see the completed article very soon. That's the signal in position, not fixed in permanently, not landscaped, etc. I've just got it in, wired up, and just testing it to make sure it works properly before doing all of that. It seems to be functioning okay at the moment, but I don't want to waste the time and effort of doing all the landscaping then to find it doesn't work. And while it was out, I also did a bit of touch up on the base of the signal, painted and picked out a few of the details. And I've also done the fence here, just need to paint it and weather it a little bit, and I'll add some more bushes, etc. to that area while I'm at it. It does look a little bit bare along the fence. And while I'm talking, what have we got coming by here? A BR or DR 86, pulling just a few freight wagons on the branch line. So I think that's basically this little project done. Quite happy with how everything is working. It certainly looks, in my opinion, a lot better once after I've taken that double slip out and improved the track work there. It all seems to be functioning. I've not had any problems with any of the engines going over this, so fingers crossed that is that issue fixed. Okay, I will now finish up with just some more running sessions, and that'll be everything for this video. Back with the DR86. I've slowed its speed down a little bit. In the previous shot, I think it was just going a little bit too fast for my liking. This is much better. I haven't had this running on the layout for quite a while, so it's good to see it out and about. Need to check the track there. As I said, I've not had this running for a while. I wonder if it's some dirt on the wheels and it needs a little bit of a clean. I'll have to look into that.